Hello, listeners. Welcome to Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the podcast where we find a topic and fit its components into a tier list. In today's episode, we'll be creating a scary movies tier list. I'm your host, Luke Webster, and joining me today is Luke Stewart, a journalism major here at Edinboro. Luke and I are in the radio and TV programs here at school. Thanks for coming on the show, Luke.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I got a really good small talk story today.
Yes.
I think it might be my best one so far. I'm going to tell you about
the ruined vacation.
This happened sometime when I was going into middle school, like between 6th and 7th grade, like around there. My family and I decided to take a vacation to a lovely part of the U.S., Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. And, you know, it sounded great. You know, we're going to go stay in a cottage not far from the beach. I'm a big fisherman, so I was looking forward to doing all kinds of fishing and whatnot. You know, we get there, good drive down. It's scenic. We have good weather while we're down there. You know, the first couple nights are great. I'm catching fish. I caught a stingray and a shark. I just had all kinds of fun, had a blast. And, you know, one day I come home from like fishing all day and I just go to bed, you know, everything's fine. And I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear some commotion going on in the other room. I'm like, God, what is going on? I'm trying to sleep. Knock it off out there. And it turns out in my parents' room, there was a bat, a baby bat on the back of my dad's neck. And he woke up like freaking out, of course. And, he yoked the bat across the room and he squashed it with his boot and they killed it. And they were just like, all right, geez, we got to go back to bed. We got an early day tomorrow. And so we preserved it in case it was rabid, and we sent it in to wherever you send it in to get it tested for rabies. And they said, hey, the bat's too small to get tested for rabies, so we're gonna say better safe than sorry, and you guys are all gonna get rabies shots, just in case. Because apparently baby bats, when they bite you, like it feels like a mosquito bite. Like you probably wouldn't be able to tell in your sleep. So they said better safe than sorry. You guys are all getting rabies shots. So this is where the problems begin. We drive like half an hour to the nearest hospital where we were going to get our rabies shots. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're actually out of rabies shots here. There was a nearby incident the other day where a rabid fox wandered into a bar and a bunch of drunk people were trying to capture it, and they bit a bunch of people and they had to get rabies shots. So we ended up driving someplace like an hour, maybe 2 hours away to the next nearest hospital to have to get rabies shots. And oh my gosh, I've had many shots in my life. Those things are some of the most painful things I've ever endured.
Seriously?
The side effects that you get from rabies shots are insane. First of all, they make your muscles hurt so bad, like incredibly sore. It feels like someone is constantly like poking your arm as hard as they can. It does not feel good. It makes you feel like queasy and dizzy and a headache, just horrible. And then they did the hemoglobin, which goes in your leg, and you like straight up barely could walk because it hurt so bad. It made you so sore. And then, and the campground that we were at refunded our entire trip as a hush hush to like not tell the health department or whatever. Because this place had a really bad bat problem. Like,
Wow.
think about this: an ocean environment, really humid. The mosquitoes should be really bad there. We didn't get bit by a mosquito the entire time. That's how bad the bats were.
Yeah.
And you'd be in the cottage and turn on the stove to cook something, and because of all the gases and stuff, you'd hear all the bats shooting out of the walls and going outside. That's how bad the bats were. There were piles of bat poop literally up to your calves everywhere, like because they would kind of sit in the corners of the cottages, and there were literally piles of bat poop like up to your ankles. It just crazy. So we got our entire trip refunded. I think they ended up getting shut down at some point because of how bad the bats were. But that's my small talk story for today.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I also got a similar short bat story if you want to hear. So, this is set last summer, right? Last summer, it's late at night. I'm laying in my bed watching TV, and it's dark in my room.
Yeah,
because I only have the TV light. I'm watching a movie, and all of a sudden I hear a fluttering, like a quick flapping.
Oh no!
And I'm like, what the heck is that? What? And I aim my phone flashlight around my room, and then I spot something. I look back. It's a bat. And no. I'm like, oh God. So as soon as I see it, I immediately get up, not in a hurry because I don't want to scare, but I'm like slowly moving towards my door, open and close. And as soon as I close the door, I can hear the bats.
Oh gosh, just fluttering around the room.
Yeah, just fluttering around. I tell my parents, like, hey, there's a bat in my room, and mind you, it's like past 10 o'clock at night, and my dad's like, screw it, I don't have the energy. You're sleeping in mom's bed. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I slept in my mom's bed that night, and in the morning, my dad's like, yeah, I'm not gonna take care of that. I gotta go work. And so
she just left it there.
No, so here's the thing. I work for my dad in landscaping.
Okay.
And I work with two of my high school buddies. We work together in landscaping for him. So, and I had to go to work that day. So my dad told me, hey, Bryce, he's a hunter, right? He hunts in the summer. I was like, yeah, he hunts. Okay, great. Have him take care of the bat. He probably can do that easy. So I at work, I go up to Bryce like, hey, you hunt, right? Like, yeah, sure. Like he had that tone.
He knew something was going on.
Exactly. So he's like, so I'm like, well, yeah, there's a bat in my room. My dad doesn't want to deal with it, so he's assigning us to deal with the bat. It's like,
oh gosh.
And Bryce and the other guy, Hunter, they're both like, okay, sure. So we head over to my house, and my mom, bless her soul, she is all prepared for us. Like, she's got out sweatshirts, gloves, sunglasses to protect us. Like, we look like we're going into war. Like, and now Hunter and Bryce, they're assigned into capturing the bat. Hunter's got a pool net.
Oh no!
To capture him. Bryce got a garbage bag. And my job, now my shades weren't up, so I was able to go up on the roof and look through my window to see where the bat was. So I'm up on the roof, right? And at some point, mind you, it's in the summertime. It's 80, 90 degrees in mid-July, and I can just feel the heat pouring down. I'm up on the roof for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Because there was not a good time for the boys to come in. The bat was flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And we had to wait until the bat was to stop flying. So I literally took off my shirt in the middle because I really want to know what my neighbors' reactions were. Like, they're looking outside like, honey, why is the Stewart kid shirtless on the roof? Like,
without context, that had to be great.
Yeah, so I'm shirtless, telling the boys to hold it, wait for it. They're waiting outside my door. The bat finally gets to near my window. I can see it. It stops, and I'm like, okay, guys, you're good to come in. Now, before I get to the next part, mind you, my suggestion was just go in and whack it.
Yeah.
And
so it sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, literally get a baseball bat, just whack it. And everyone's like, no, we're just going to capture. We're just going to. Yeah, they come in. Hunter grabs it, gets the pool net over it. and they get it to the floor. And they stuff the garbage bag over it, and you can hear it. You hear it going through the garbage bag. In a quick panic, Bryce grabs the nearest flashlight in my room and just whacks it. Whacks it. So I'm like, yeah, we may as well just came in whacking it at that point. So
yeah, what was the point of going through all that and sitting in the 80-degree heat?
And it was,
oh my gosh,
it was a good thing that we whacked it anyway. Because here's the thing: if we had let it go, we would have come back. Because
yeah, they come back to their home.
We didn't know that till later. They go back to where they
Well, the doctor said if I ever encountered rabies again, that I would just need a booster shot. So if you ever got like a rabid animal problem, like you can give me a call. I'll come down and take care of it. I'll just need a booster shot if I get bit.
I haven't gotten a booster shot yet, so I'm very curious. what that'll do for me.
You know what the worst part is? You don't know how long that bat was in there until you noticed. He could have been in there for an hour or so before you noticed.
It's so weird. Like,
were you watching Batman at the time? Like when...
no, I was watching a Spider-Man cartoon. That's what I was doing. So
oh my! It
would have been great if I was watching Batman.
It would have fit the aesthetic very well.
Yeah,
nice. I didn't expect you to also have a bat story. That's great.
And then like you told me before we started, hey, if you come up with a short story, that'd be great. And I'm marking through my brain, and then you bring up bat story. I was like, oh hey, I got a bat story. That's perfect.
I wonder how many people have a bat story.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's gonna have at least one.
Oh my gosh, I have another bat story. I'll make it quick.
Like my parents, when they first got their house like 20 years ago, they had like bat infestation in their house.
Oh my gosh, bats are the worst. They're not. They don't look very approachable. They're creepy looking. My other bat story, which I'll keep pretty short, is I don't remember who, but we had a guest over at our house.
Sure.
And they were in the living room, and I went downstairs to go grab something, and I look at the top of the stairwell, and it's far from me, but I just saw like a blob of something black on the wall. Yeah. And like I turned around to go grab something, and then I did like a double take, and I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, it's a leaf or something. And then I look, I'm like, oh no, that's a bat. That's a bat. Now I'm a hunter, so I got, all the gear and stuff, but I'm not going to go blasting a 12 gauge shotgun in my house. So, and mind you, a guest is here, and we're trying to, keep this secret so they don't know, because that would be embarrassing. Like, we have a bat in the house. So I go get my dad and like tap him on the shoulder and like motion for him to come towards me. I explained the situation to him, and like we came up with a plan in like seconds. Like, it was impressive. I was like, Dad, I have a BB gun, right? It's not going to kill him. It's just going to knock him off the wall, and it won't like hurt it by shooting it in the house. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, I'll get a garbage bag and I'll just catch him as he falls off the wall, because it looked like he was like sleeping on the wall. So I load up the BB gun, put one shot in it, pump it up. Pow. I hit him like, I didn't kill him, but I hit him like enough, and he just fell straight down and went into the garbage bag. My dad caught it, ties up the garbage bag real quick. I don't recall what we did after that. I can't remember if we let him go or put him out of his misery or what, but that was another one, and the guest had no idea anything happened.
That's amazing. You're able to keep it from your guest.
It was like a whole operation happened while there was a guest at the house.
You guys come back. The guest is like, so where were you two at?
What was that noise I heard with it was like a shrieking, almost echolocation. Oh, no, I was just practicing in case I ever go blind. I always practice my echolocation. I'm like Matt Murdock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man. Well, we took a bit with those, but that was fun. Those were good stories.
That was great.
I guess we could start getting into our scary movie tier list, horror movie, thriller, whatever you want to call it. In no particular order, we have a collection of probably 50 or so movies. There's probably a few that we haven't seen, and we will either just give our best guess, or if we know nothing about it, we'll just put it in like a haven't scene category. And for you listeners at home, our tier list is ranked from S, which is the best, and then you have A, B, C, D, and F, which is the worst. Our first one, like I said, no particular order, just how they're listed on the website. We have A Quiet Place. I'll count 1 and 2 for this. I saw this in theaters. I don't know about you, like opening weekend. My friends and I saw. I love A Quiet Place.
Those are great movies. I absolutely love the idea of you have to be so silent.
Yeah.
Or they'll get you like the smallest sound.
Yeah. Like even like a twig breaking, or like if you crack your knuckles or something, that'd probably get me out. If I was in the Quiet Place world, I'd be cracking my knuckles and then they'd come and get me. Man, just so very well produced. Like who else has made a movie where the abundance of sound is like the highlight of the film?
Oh, I know. And my favorite scene is in the second from the beginning where you see the invasion happen. Yeah. And the town's just so confused. They have no idea what's going on. All they know to do is run. Yeah.
All they do is run, and then they start to figure it out. But that I think that's in the second one. They show like the origin of how everything happened.
Yeah.
Man, that was just a good scene. And just the way that they execute the absence of sound in that movie is just so well done. Like it's total silence. Whereas in other movies, you have like music in the background to like in almost every scene,
right?
Like a whole soundtrack made for the movie. And this one it's just silent. And what other movie does that? It's so unique.
You're absolutely right, because in a lot of other horror movies, they try to have sound be the scary thing, whereas this movie is like, hey, the scary thing is no sound.
Yeah.
Like, that's so brilliant.
It's unique. It's one of a kind, and maybe there's copycats around it, but man, just so wonderfully done.
I remember this one Netflix movie that literally had the same premise.
Oh yeah, just like a rip off of the movie.
Yeah. Stanley Tucci was in it and all.
Oh boy.
And I'm just like, this is Quiet Place, just not as good.
It is just wonderful having John Krasinski be a producer, director, and a main actor in the movie. It's just nice to have him.
He was able to break away from his office gym mold. Like, hey, I got other talents than this.
It's totally different from his time in the office. Where were you think about ranking this? I was thinking like A at the least.
Definitely at the very least A. Would we go so far as to give it an S?
I want to give it S just because of its uniqueness. No other movie before this has done what it has done.
I agree. I think it's worthy of S.
Okay, S tier for A Quiet Place for 1 and 2. Up next we got Hereditary. I haven't seen Hereditary. How about you?
I haven't seen it either, but everyone is talking about how it's like one of the best movies of recent years.
Yeah, and everyone has always told me it's a good one to watch. You know, just without having context and things I've heard, I think A or B would be a good placement for it. Or we could not rank it, but I don't know.
I feel like it would be unfair to rank something we haven't even seen.
That's true. So we could just leave it unranked. Well, you guys in the comments can let us know how it is. This next one, though, I know both of us have probably seen.
Oh yeah.
It, the newest rendition of It.
Yes.
1 and 2. Man, whew. those are pretty well done and quite spooky.
Chapter 1 in particular was very special to me. I saw this in theaters with my friends.
Oh yeah,
and literally had my friend. She was so scared. She was literally like crying in my arm. And then a few weeks later, there was a Comic-Con in my hometown of Erie, and my buddy dressed up as Georgie. So he had the yellow raincoat on with a red balloon, and he was a hit of the con. Yeah. Everyone wanted his picture. And later, when we went back, we went to that friend who was so scared. We went to her house and tied a red balloon to her mailbox. It was the best thing ever.
Must have been freaking out.
Yeah. So chapter 1 in particular, I just love so much. I love the stuff with the kids. I really feel like for kids, you feel so much more for them.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't really care in chapter 2 when they're adults.
Yeah, when they're adults. It's heartbreaking when they're kids. This is very good. I would definitely say A for this. I would consider S. It is very well made.
I think A is a good spot.
A? Okay, we'll throw it in A.
Get Out. You haven't seen this.
I haven't. I've seen a lot of highlights or clips of it. I know the premise of the movie. I was told it is like one of the best of all time.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's definitely a great movie of recent years for horror. Like, just one of those things. You have no idea what's going on until the end, and you're like, "Oh, wow, this is so creepy." So,
and you find out the twist like later in the movie. So it's like is it like a slow burn thriller where like it's just on the edge of your seat, like building up,
and it
to
actually
the last
keeps you
moment.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I put it in A, maybe even B.
Okay.
A or B.
A or B. You want to go here? Pick one. Doesn't matter to me.
We can go A. We can go
Okay. Let's see.
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan. I haven't seen that. How about you?
Not seen that.
No. Hush. I have seen Hush.
Yes.
Hush was very well done. It kind of reminds me of A Quiet Place in that it has to do with sound.
Yes.
Hush was really good. I liked it a lot.
I just love this unique perspective because we've seen these type of movies where there's a killer and the person has to try to survive, where in this movie it's a deaf woman.
Yeah.
So we get her perspective. She can't hear anything.
It's like not only does she have to survive, but she has to do it creatively because she can't hear.
Yeah. So it really awesome, unique movie. So yeah, I would put it in. I want to put it in S, but
I want to say A probably for this.
A, yeah. A.
It is very well done though.
Absolutely.
And I could definitely see an argument for S. All right. Up next, The Witch. Whew. This one freaky. This one, I didn't like this one just because of how much it made me feel uncomfortable. Like, man.
Like, I didn't like this one as much just because of how slow it is. Like, it's
that
the definition of a slow burn.
Very slow burn.
Yeah.
I felt like the revealing scene at the end didn't say much or change much. Like, not a lot happened plot wise. Is kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah, it's like the breaking down of a family, but the stuff that happens and how you get there, it's just not as, tension grabbing as it should be.
That's true. I was thinking maybe C for this one, like kind of mid, like, could be better, could be a lot worse.
Like it's definitely good, but it's not a movie I would want to see again.
Yeah, like it's kind of a one-time watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go C for The Witch. Up next, we got Creep or The Creep. I can't remember, but
there's Creep 1 and 2. Have you seen 2?
I haven't seen either of them actually.
Oh, so this is basically off mine.
This one's all you.
Okay, I've seen both Creep 1 and Creep 2. It's essentially shot from a camera's perspective, like Paranormal Activity.
Oh, like a handheld first person.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But unlike Paranormal Activity, Creep actually keeps my attention. Okay. This is actually an interesting movie. It's essentially about this guy who hires a cameraman to film him.
Okay. I like that.
And so, the camera guy's like, okay, sure, I'll hang out with you for a couple hours. And the more you learn about him, the more you start to question what's going on. You can see in the cameraman's face, like, wait, didn't this guy say he grew up from this place?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He starts putting it together and tying together loose ends.
And by the end, it's just, I want to say it. I just can't. This is one you really had to take my word on. Last I checked, it's on both of them are on Netflix, so definitely check them out.
Okay. All right. So you grabbed my attention with it. Where do you want to put this on the tier list?
I want to go. I'll put them in A.
A? Okay.
A.
Got a lot of good ones off the start here.
Yeah.
Next is Cabin in the Woods.
Really?
I mean, I've seen better,
Sure,
but
I
I've
can get
certainly
that.
seen worse.
Cabin in the Woods I like because it's very much supposed to be like an homage of all the cliches.
Yeah, like all of
the
them
horror
put
film.
together for sure. Yeah.
Like for 1 second, Chris Hemsworth's like, "Hey, if we want to survive, we should not split up."
Yeah.
And they're being manipulated by this group of people. It's like, nope, activate the idiot device. They're like, okay, I think we should split up, guys.
Yeah. Like Fred from Scooby-Doo. Let's split up, gang. Yeah.
but I can see why this was not a lot of people's favorite. I liked it. I've watched with my family. They did not like it at all. So I can see why.
Yeah.
Well, why did you not like it?
I don't know. Just like the reveal at the end when they're like it was almost too unrealistic for me.
Sure.
Just like there was so much going on. I wish it was simpler, if that makes any sense.
I get that. I agree. It's definitely not the best, but I'd say it's at least worth checking out.
I think B tier would probably be okay for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind if it was C tier. But.
C tier. I'll put it in C. I like that. I think you said neither of us have seen this.
Pandorium. Yeah, we have not seen that.
Okay.
The Strangers, though.
The Strangers. That's that one's like with the cult family. Is that one?
So I've seen this one as well. So essentially, I'm sorry. I'm essentially. It seems like I'm taking over.
Oh no, you're good. There's a few on here I'll get to that I've seen, but
okay, yeah. But Strangers, essentially about a what's it called when a group of people break into your house. It's a home invasion movie.
oh, you know what? I've seen the trailer for this.
Yeah. So this is what would happen if you had a home invasion, and it's literally these 3 people in masks.
Yeah.
And just these crazy people, and you're legit rooting for this poor husband and wife who are just like, they're just chilling, on a regular night, and all of a sudden, just boom, this group of people just
show up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it legit one of those movies where you're like, I hope that doesn't happen to me. Like, it gets you thinking, like, well, what does happen to me?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's clearly good enough because they got a sequel. They're making more. So I think it's worthy of the B
tier.
B tier.
I'll have to check that one out as well. Yeah, there's a few more that I haven't seen, but like somewhere in the list here, there's quite a few I have seen.
So like the next one's Trick or Treat. Have you seen?
I have not seen Trick or Treat.
I have not seen that either, but I want to.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll skip that one. Paranormal Activity.
Oh. I tried watching the first.
It's so slow. It's hard to grab.
I stopped watching after 20 minutes. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm
thinking probably D tier for this one.
I would even go so far as say F tier.
F tier?
I had no care.
I'll hear you out. You know what? Let's do it. F tier. F tier for Paranormal Activity.
Like, I'm sure there's better ones in the series. I just could not get into the first.
The Host. I haven't seen this one. I don't know about you.
I haven't heard of this one.
I hadn't heard of it either. Dawn of the Dead, though, is the next one.
It's just specifically the one made by Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
The Zack Snyder version. I haven't heard of it, but I want to.
I really would like to watch it. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people tell me about it. What's this next one?
Saw.
Oh, Saw franchise. Oh man,
I've seen the first two. How many have you seen?
I believe I've seen just the first one, but I've seen clips, the most important clips from all the other ones.
Sure,
they're all pretty similar, from what I understand. Definitely like a big name one that a lot of people have heard of or know of. Pretty solid franchise.
They got a 10th one coming out.
A 10th? Oh,
they're making a 10th. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there's clearly a fan base.
They got enough? Jeez.
But okay, what did you think of the first one?
It was pretty good. I liked it. I'm thinking like low as C, high as B.
Sure. I like the film just on the premise of you're of these two guys who are captured.
Yeah.
They don't know where they are. They have to figure out, why did they get kidnapped in the first place. So
it's a good, like, the final twist at the end, in the last room there is, like, I like the twists that they add to the movie. So we thinking B for Saw?
Yeah, that's respectable.
Okay. 28 Days Later. This is like an apocalypse movie, right?
Yeah, it's a zombie movie. Yes.
Like zombie apocalypse.
This is a great movie. This is actually a really, if you want to say historic movie, because this is the first movie to introduce running zombies.
Oh, instead of walkers.
Yeah, so you got zombies who can run, jump, super strength,
very agile.
Yeah. So you have, when me and my dad we'd be watching Walking Dead, and it's like, how the heck do these guys get caught by these slow zombies? Like,
and then you watch, and they're sprinting all over the place.
It's like, holy crap, these zombies are actually terrifying.
Yeah. So where are you thinking for this one? Higher, lower?
Definitely at least B. I think B is a respectable.
Okay. We'll put that in B. We have a big name one up next is The Ring.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people were so scared to watch TV after this, afraid
allowed to own a VCR.
Yeah, don't pull out that unmarked VCR tape. Yeah. Ring is good. I mean, it's probably like B or A in my book.
Like, what do you like about it? Because here's the thing. I only remember this movie for the girl that comes out.
Yeah,
TV.
that's honestly, you bring up a good point. That's really the main thing that I remember from it as well.
Because I can't remember the actual mystery or
there's something like, I think if you watch this tape, you'll die in the next 7 days. I think that's the concept of it. So maybe B or C instead of A or B. Just from what I can remember.
Yeah, because
it was a long time.
Yeah, same here. I saw this in high school, and I barely remember why they went out on this boat or who they tried to find.
Yeah. So C, B, C.
C.
Okay.
I know we're gonna get a lot of people angry because it's such
a lot of people really like The Ring.
Such a famous movie.
Final Destination. I have seen just the first one.
I've only seen the first one too. Yeah, but I legit love the Final Destination for I think it's a great metaphor on death itself, because we don't know when we're gonna die.
Yeah, and
this shows that, and it makes it a horror movie.
It's So I really like the idea behind it.
Yes.
I wish it was executed better. I felt like the VFX, like the virtual effects, were kind of lackluster.
Sure.
I felt like whenever they had something with the VFX crew, it looked kind of jank. It didn't look like it was a movie that would come out in theaters. It looked like a college budget movie, with the virtual effects. But the idea is really good and captivating, and it keeps you engaged. So
same. Yeah.
I think for the whole series too, I haven't seen the other ones. I'm assuming they're very similar.
They're all on HBO Max if you want to check them out.
Oh, I guess I know where I'm going. I think B maybe.
It sounds like not even that big of a maybe C.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like C is respect.
Yeah. If it were shot, but it's a little cheesy too, was my problem with it. It was just the scripting or the writing could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
It just had a lot of cheese going on. Blair Witch Project. The first shaky cam horror movie.
It was one of the biggest, highest grossing movies of that year.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about this movie.
Everybody talked about it. And it's almost started its own genre of horror movies in and of itself, just with having that shaky cam, first person kind of thing. And, that changed a lot.
Absolutely. I respect this movie on a historical perspective, what it influenced, but as a movie itself, It's okay.
Yeah, it's really just all right, and you don't even get to really see the the monster or whatever until the end.
What do you think was the idea of it? Like maybe like you don't actually know there's something scary out there, or they're just
the anticipation is almost more scary than actually seeing it.
Yeah, or they just lost their mind, something like that. But at the same time, I don't think this is like a movie I'd want to see again.
Yeah, like probably a one-time watch.
Oh yeah.
So this might also be like a C tier.
I love how we're putting all these famous movies in C.
I mean, it's just kind of exposing it. Like they're big name, but they're just okay at that. Have you seen Event Horizon?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. It's like a sci-fi horror. Like they're up in a spaceship, and there's this like, I don't know, like alien demon thing, whatever. Like,
is it almost like an alien style movie?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I guess we'll probably leave that on March then. What's after that? Killer Clowns. No, Scream.
Yes.
The Scream series. Those are classic.
I've seen all 5 Scream films. I love these movies.
I've seen bits and pieces of like the first one, and I know that it's just like it's a classic that like a lot of people have seen, and that's like, this is one that people will probably watch every year for Halloween.
Like, no doubt.
Spooky season.
No doubt.
Definitely good, like towards the top of the list.
Yeah, I personally love these movies because it's so funny. Like they establish like the horror rules. Like you're never supposed to drink.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say, "I'll be right back," because he won't be right back. Like I just love how and then they'll do the cliche anyway.
Yep,
like,
and they end up doing it. So they add some humor to it.
Yeah. I personally do love these movies. So I don't think they're worthy of S. I put the first one at least an A.
An A?
Yeah.
That's fine with me. Killer Clowns is up next.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Have you seen this?
I have not. I have heard of it though.
It's just a fun movie. It's like Friday the 13th, in which you're just watching the movie just to watch a bunch of clowns kill a bunch of people. Like that's the only reason to watch.
Not really like a big plot to it, just that they're all there.
And if you're okay with that, this is that your type of movie, and this is that type of movie for me. Just seeing the creative ways these alien clowns kill all these people is so much fun. So definitely not S or even A, but definitely B. Just a fun B popcorn movie.
Yeah, that works for me. Evil Dead, another one I haven't seen. Man, I sound like a poser right now.
But why am I talking all the time? Let's see.
Well, I guess you could put any of the Evil Dead, put them all in one.
Because I know there's also Army of Darkness on here. So, hey, we got the first one. So in specific, this is Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2. So, I've seen all the Evil Dead movies. The first and third I like more than the second.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people say the second one's the masterpiece, but I don't know. The second one, because the first one really tried to be like a real horror movie. The second one was just kind of too goofy for me. Yeah. So like they had this whole VFX effect of like a hand, like thing from Adam's Family, just moving around. And you got Ash Williams just trying to kill the thing, and it's just, you just can't take it seriously at all.
Yeah, it's just like too corny and goofy, cringy kind of thing.
Yeah. So I put Evil Dead 2 in either C or D.
C or D?
Yeah.
We'll go with C.
Sure.
Up next, The Fly.
Specifically the remake with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah. Fun fact, my mom went to the same high school as Jeff Goldblum.
Seriously?
Yeah. He was a few years ahead of her, but they went to the same one.
What school did they go to?
I believe it was just West Mifflin Elementary. That's
so cool.
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Have you seen this?
I haven't. It's another
What
one.
the-
But the next like 3, I
Okay, good. Because I'm about to say I'm carrying this. This I have seen. I actually have a top 100 horror movie chart I got for my birthday in the summer.
Oh yeah.
So you literally scratch a movie off one to 100.
Oh, is it like the scratch off, like a lottery scratch off thing? But,
Exactly. Yeah. And this is on there. So I'm like, okay, I'm watching this with my dad. And yeah, really interesting movie. It's about this guy who tries to solve teleportation, create teleportation. And a fly gets into the machine with them.
Oh no!
And their genes like mix, and he slowly turns.
Oh, you know what? I have heard about this. I haven't seen it though, but I do. At least I know what you're talking about.
And he turns it into a fly creature, and the effects, mind you, this is the 1980s.
Yeah.
They use practical, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, practical effects are almost always better than CG if you can do it right.
And it looks so good. So I definitely put this at the very least in B.
In B? Okay. There we go. B. All right. Now we're getting into some that I know of. So Nightmare of Elm Street, or on Elm Street. One of the most iconic of all time. You got Freddy Krueger.
One of the most iconic villains of all time.
Yeah. Iconic movie, iconic villain. So, I mean, this is probably A or S, especially considering its time.
Like I especially and just like Quiet Place, it's such a unique idea. Like,
it is
like this idea of someone intruding your dream.
Yeah,
like that's supposed to be when you're safe.
Yeah, it is. When you're asleep is when you're safe, supposedly.
Just a great idea, and again, great villain, because like with Michael Myers or Jason, these are all silent villains. Where and Freddy's one of the few like classic horror villains with a real person now.
And they talk. He talks, and he's scary and funny.
Yeah, so I think Nightmare is worthy of S.
Okay, we'll put it in S tier. Okay, The Thing. Man, it's a messed up movie as far as the effects go. Like, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, another great example of effects done right.
Yeah,
especially
all practical effects.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that sold it was I think they didn't tell the cast what was going to be happening, so some of their reactions were genuine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I especially love, because it's all about who can you trust. It's all just paranoia.
Yeah.
So
they'd never know who to trust.
Exactly. So I think this is definitely a classic. I'd say. Would you agree with A?
A. Yeah, I think A is good. Poltergeist.
Yes.
Classic. Good classic. I mean, before we even discuss, I'm thinking probably A or B for Poltergeist. It's pretty up there. I don't know about you.
I would definitely say A, because it's a classic like haunting. Like there's this ghost who's after this girl, but it's done in such a great way.
It really is.
And if I'm correct, I think Steven Spielberg produced it.
I think that's right.
And the money show.
It really does. The budget really does show.
So yeah, I definitely would say A.
All right, I'm on board with A. Video, what does that say?
Videodrome. I've not heard of it.
I haven't heard of it either. The original Evil Dead.
I'll go. I like this better than the second because it actually tries to be a horror film. What brings it down though is the cheesy acting. Like you can tell this is their first time.
Cheesy acting, cheesy writing.
First movie, yeah. So, but what makes it up is the horror atmosphere and the effects. Again, you've got some good effects, and mind you, this is on a very, very, very low budget. So it's impressive what they were
for what they did with considering their budget.
So I go with B. I go B.
Okay. The Shining, man, this is S, right?
Yeah.
The Shining, you on board with that? With S tier?
Now, why do you think it's S tier?
Just with like part A, you know, Jack Nicholson's acting just flawless. You're convinced that he's possessed and he can't control what he's doing. You get the classic "Here's Johnny" line.
Yeah.
And they said like how many takes they did for that scene, and that
like 120 something.
Yeah, there's so many takes until they got it right, and they're trying to get a genuine reaction out of. I can't remember the wife's name or the actor for the wife's name.
Shelley Duvall, that's the actress name. Yeah,
she was like borderline ready to collapse or something from how many takes and all the screaming she had to do for it.
I looked up like during when they were filming, she actually had clumps of hair that would fall out.
Yeah,
due to the
stress.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
So are we agreeing on S for this?
It's definitely S worthy. Absolutely,
it's very good. One of the best. And it's very captivating. Alien, another good classic.
I love the tagline from the poster: "In space, one can hear you scream."
Alien's another really good one, up there for sure. And once again, great use of practical effects.
Like, I love how we've got all these movies that show you can still kill it with practical.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't need all this CG all the time.
No.
And this was one where I know for sure in the chest burst scene, they did not tell the actors that was going to happen. Their reactions are entirely genuine.
That awesome.
And it was crazy. Like, man, this is at least I'd consider S. I don't know about you.
I don't know if I go as far as S. Like, it's definitely an important movie. I don't know. Like, I just never really cared about the characters.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an aspect I would, yeah.
So that's definitely A. At very least A.
Okay. I like A. Up next, Halloween.
The original.
The original. Do you want to judge this as the whole series with all the movies, or do you just want to?
Well, I've only seen the first two. How many have you seen?
Just the first.
Okay, so just the first.
Yeah, I heard of the newest one, like Halloween Ends or whatever one came out with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. But for the first one, what are we thinking?
So. Again, on a terms of just historic perspective, it's a movie you have to respect because this is the movie that introduced a lot of cliches.
Yeah, like a lot of them based their stuff off of this.
Like every movie was trying to copy Halloween.
Yeah.
So
they started a lot.
Yeah. But the movie itself, like I like Dr. Loomis, the guy who took care of Michael and him trying to go after.
Yeah.
And I like when you see Michael doing stuff, it's great. But there's a great middle portion of the movie that's a slog.
It is.
To get there.
I agree.
You do not care about the teens.
Not at all. It's solid. I'm reluctant to say A, like probably A or B.
I think B. B is fair.
C would be a disrespect to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dawn of the Dead.
The original by George A. Romero. I've not seen this.
I haven't seen it as either. I've always heard good things about it though.
This is House.
I think it's hard to tell what it is. I know I haven't seen it though.
I know I haven't seen it either, so we're gonna skip that one.
Suspiria.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
that's also on my horror movie chart.
On like the top 100.
Yeah. So this is 1970 something, produced by Italy. Actually, is an Italian film.
Oh, cool.
So set in a dance studio. This American girl goes to this school in Italy, and there's some spooky stuff going on.
Yeah.
So like one of the students get killed, and it involves witchcraft. And I'm watching this with my dad, and we both love how over the top the music is.
Oh yeah.
Like they're really trying to get the music to scare you, and we're just laughing at how high the music is. Like,
oh my gosh.
But yeah, not scary, I would say, but definitely interesting. I'd say it's definitely worth a watch.
Okay.
So I put it, I don't want to say B, at least C.
C? Okay. You want to do like a little bit of a speed round for a couple of them? We're at about...
We get class in 30 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll do a bit of a speed round. You want to go from like Carrie to
Night of the Living
Night of
Dead.
the Living
That's
Dead.
the last I've
Yeah.
seen. Okay, so
all right.
Carrie's great. You feel bad for the girl Carrie.
Yeah.
I would put Carrie at
Probably maybe B or C.
no. I actually would go for A.
A? Yeah. Okay. I was thinking if I was going to put it in B, I was going to put like a strong B perhaps, but I do like A for that.
Jaws. You had to put Jaws at S.
Oh yeah.
Jaws
Classic.
is such a
And
classic.
another good one with practical effects, and especially for its time, just good. And it was the first shark movie. Like, you know how many shark movies have been made now after Jaws, and
Tremors with Kevin Bacon, just copying that formula.
And you know, you have the Jaws music that never gets old. Dun, 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 dun.
Especially because they're able to pull it off, because the movie was literally called Floss and it's being made because they had so many issues with the shark.
Yeah. It was just so hard to get that thing to work.
The Birds. by Alfred Hitchcock. I've seen it. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
I put it in B.
B. Would you watch that one again, or probably like a one-time watch?
Like, okay, not by myself, but with friends. Like, if I show this to friends, I definitely want to see it again.
Psycho.
Another Hitchcock movie.
Classic. It's like was it the first horror movie, or just like the first big one?
Slasher film. One of the first slashers. Like, this one was actually the influence for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, so and it's a 60s movie. It captures your attention all the way through.
And it's a cult classic. Like, everyone could name Psycho, like, whenever you think of him.
And Norman Bates, one of the best villains you'll ever see in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I'll put Psycho in A.
A? I like it.
Actually, no, S.
S? Yeah. It's like one of the first of its kind.
The Babadook. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen this either.
It's essentially about a mom trying to protect her son from a demon, or a ghost or whatever. So it's good. Yeah. I don't know if I'd see it again, but I'd put Babadook in like C.
C? Okay.
I love how we haven't got a movie in D or F.
Not yet. Only one in F, but none in D yet.
The Exorcist. That one I definitely think is worthy of S, because
it's very good and it's convincing. Like, it's very convincing.
My dad doesn't scare easy. He doesn't get shocked very much. We're watching it. He hasn't seen it again in years, and you forget how scary it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a scene where the girl's stabbing herself with the cross.
Yeah,
my dad's like, "Holy hell!"
It's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
The Conjuring.
Man, I remember everyone talked about this when it came out. I was far too young to see it when it came out. But everybody talked about it.
And for good reason. Yeah.
I think probably A.
Oh yeah, definitely A.
All right. What's the next one?
Rosemary's Baby.
I haven't seen this one either.
I have. It's good, but it's one of those slow burn type movies. It's one of those that you wouldn't see again unless you were to introduce it to a friend. So I put it in C.
Okay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I do love this movie though. Yeah. Have you seen this?
I've seen clips and I've heard a lot about it. From what I know, I heard it'd probably B or C.
I'd say I actually would go for A.
A? Yeah. Okay.
Like, I think this is one of the most unique movies because it is actually inspired by a series of murders by
Ed Gein, right?
Yeah, that's the tagline, based on the horrific true story.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you made that up.
But, and then you find out it's real, and it's scary. Night of the Living Dead. That was like the first zombie movie, technically.
The first zombie movie. And fun fact, shot in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Like the scene where you're watching the TV and they're listing all the hospitals in Pennsylvania. And one of them, I forget what it's called, but one of them's in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, we've been to that hospital.
We've been to there. Oh.
So this one's a classic. I want to put it in S, but you know what? I'm putting it in S.
S? Okay. S. Yeah. This one, that was in black and white, right?
Black and white, 1960. Shot in black and white. Yeah.
What's next here?
Nosferatu. I know this from SpongeBob.
Yep, that's the only reason I know about it. Who was flickering the lights?
And fun fact, it was technically they took it from Dracula, but they changed the name for copyright reasons.
Oh boy.
So it's essentially Dracula without the name.
Without the name, yeah.
So then we had none of us have seen this. So we're gonna leave that alone. Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, haven't seen.
Essentially, Evil Dead 3. I've seen it. I actually think this is the best of the Evil Dead films.
Evil Dead. So would that be in B or
A?
A? Yeah.
Because is Evil Dead 1 and 2, it's scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
It's actually enjoyable.
I like ones that add humor.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is the next one.
Again, if you know what you're going in for, which is
it's
just
iconic.
Yeah, it's not worthy. I want to put an A. It's not worthy of it, but you just gotta give it.
You have to. I mean, classic villain, classic movie. What was this one?
Eyes Without a Face. It's like I've heard of it. It's like a French movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of us have seen it, so
I haven't seen it. Frankenstein is up next.
Specifically 1931, black and white. I love this movie.
It's alive. It's alive.
Yeah. Like, to me, the whole story of Frankenstein is about how we create the monster.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the other. Like, Frankenstein essentially it's just a child.
Yeah. And he created him. And yeah.
And he reacts to how the world reacts to him. Everyone thinks he's a monster, so he retaliates.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's good to think of it philosophically like that.
So I actually would put Frankenstein in S tier.
S tier? All right. Child's Play.
Yes.
Oh yeah, with
Chucky.
Eh.
Not a fan.
I don't know. It's very cheesy. I mean,
sure.
it's unique and it's funny, but
definitely not A.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I give it respect because like you said, it's cheesy, it's memorable, and it's kind of like Freddy Krueger, in which this is a memorable villain.
Yeah, for sure. And like you can buy Chucky dolls and stuff.
I'd say at least B.
B? Okay.
I'd say it's worth it. B.
I'll hear you out for that one. Brain Dead?
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it either.
The original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I've heard a lot of good talk about it.
I have not seen that.
I haven't either. The Vanishing. If this is the movie I think it's talking about, there's a movie I saw it on Netflix. The Vanishing. This one was so good, and it's a thriller movie about this couple that lost their daughter, and they're trying to find their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They got lost at this campground, and the twists and turns in this movie and the decisions that they make, and you are just disgusted and blown away. This was really good and just kept you on the edge of your seat the whole way through. I like this a lot. I'd put this in A.
Okay. I'm going off your word completely.
Finally one that I've seen that you Silent Hill.
I've not seen this.
Neither have I. I heard that's like a classic one as well. Hostel?
Another one on HBO Max. I've not seen this. I want to, though. It's on my list.
The Strangers.
Pray at Night. That's the second one.
Oh, the second one.
I haven't seen that, though, but I want to.
Friday the 13th Part 2.
That one's classic because a lot of people think Jason's like the main villain for all the movies.
Not for this one.
Not for this one. The first one was just his mother taking revenge because Jason drowned when he was a kid. But the second one, Jason witnesses his mother being murdered. So this is the one that introduces Jason as a villain. Him taking revenge on the counselors for killing his mom. So again, I feel like this one's definitely more B.
B? Okay.
Like, it's great because it introduces Jason, but it has none of the great stuff you remember Friday the 13th for. Like, I think a lot of the great stuff came later in like part 6. In part
6, geez. Part 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, they made 12 movies.
Yeah, so many. Ring 2, haven't seen.
Actually, I think it's Ringu. Like,
Ring.
The Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I
thought, okay. It looked like it said Ring 2. I see it now. That's funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Japanese version. Have you?
I have not.
Creep Show. This is one I want to see. I haven't seen it yet, but it's like written by Stephen King.
Oh, okay. Stephen King one.
So yeah, that definitely we're checking out. Jeepers Creepers. Another like slasher Friday the 13th type of movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Neither have I. Cannibal Holocaust. Haven't seen.
I haven't heard.
I haven't even heard of it. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
This is a classic.
Classic for sure.
I legit love this movie.
Probably A, right?
Yeah, A.
Yeah. Children of the Corn. Heard so much about this. I heard it's bad. Is that true?
Okay, it's definitely not one of the best you'll ever watch, but I think it has entertainment value because it's basically about these kids going up against their parents, and there's a couple that walk into this town, and the town's just dead and empty.
Yeah.
And like, what's going on? And you just see kids everywhere.
Yeah.
So it has that creep value.
Yeah.
Like, why are all these children here? Where are all the adults?
What are they doing?
So yeah, I definitely B.
Okay.
Definitely do a one-time wash.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Fun fact: Wes Craven's breakthrough movie. He would go on to direct Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream.
That's what really brought him into.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen this. It's essentially about a family that gets out stranded out in the middle of nowhere in their trailer.
Yeah.
There's just nothing but hills, and there's like these cannibals, like who live up in the hills who terrorize his family. It's definitely interesting. I put it in B.
B? Okay. B. You piqued my interest for that one. I'm interested.
Just for Wes Craven.
Where's the next one at?
The Phantom Carriage.
Phantom Carriage. Haven't seen it.
Haven't heard.
Zombie.
Haven't heard or seen.
No. The Blob.
Oh, I've heard of it. I want to see that.
Last House on the Left.
Oh, that's another one of Wes Craven's classics.
Oh, okay.
I want to see that too. I just haven't yet.
Seen it as well. Shivers. I haven't seen. Faust. I haven't seen either.
Oh, no, not me either.
Let's see.
There's one more row.
Troll 2.
This is one of those famous, it's so bad it's good.
Oh yeah, like just like bad everything, bad acting, like, bad effects.
It's listed one of the worst movies of all time. And have you seen like those GIFs where you got this boy with glasses going, "Oh my god"?
Oh yeah, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to see it so bad just for the memes.
For which tier?
Well, I haven't seen it. So.
Oh, you haven't seen. Well,
Dead Silence.
Haven't seen it. Arachnophobia.
I've heard of it. It's essentially spiders everywhere. So
if you don't like spiders, that's totally the movie for you. What's that say?
The Grudge.
Oh, The Grudge.
It's like the Japanese version. I haven't seen. Have you?
Haven't seen it. Cujo.
I want to see this so bad.
Is this newer?
It's the 80s where you get the evil dog.
Oh yeah, I have heard about this one. For God's sake, Get Out. Oh, it's the
Amityville Horror.
I haven't heard of it.
Really? Like the Amityville Murders? Like this guy like kills his parents and the siblings.
Oh geez.
And then this new family moves in after the murders take place, and they think there's a haunting in the house. Like,
man, I don't think I've seen it. Or I definitely haven't seen it. I don't know if I've heard of it.
Like it's such a like it's actually based on a real event. Like this actually happened, and they capitalized.
Those are the ones that are
they made
the
a movie on it. Yeah. So I've seen it. Definitely worth watching. I put this in A.
Okay.
I put this in A.
And then The Fly we've done before, but that must be the older.
That's the 50s version. I haven't seen that one. That one does not have Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. There
we go.
Okay.
My Bloody Valentine.
I haven't seen it.
There's another one I've seen. It's essentially Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th formula, but what makes it unique is a horror film set in Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's definitely unique for sure.
And it's set around this town that requires money from its coal mine. Like that's where its men work. Is in the mines, and you got this killer who's dressed as a miner, with a pickaxe, just burning people. So,
boy!
And the climax is set in the mines, which is so clearly a studio set.
Yeah.
Like, you can clearly tell it's not an actual mine, but you take it for what it is. But it's definitely enjoyable. Definitely B.
B? Okay.
I'd say B, just for entertainment value.
And then the last one is House of Wax. I don't think either of us have seen.
No.
So those are all the ones that are on the list. There's a couple more I just wanted to bring up from like Netflix and Hulu. There's a few like indie thriller horror films. One of them is Hunter x Hunter. Has to be like one of the best movies I've seen. It's a slow burn for sure, but the twist and the final scene is just insane. You never see it coming, and it's just a crazy twist. It's very good. I'd probably put this in A. Personally, I would definitely recommend it. It was on Hulu last time I checked. There's also The Ritual, which is on Netflix. That one was really well done. Unique. It's like these three friends that go into the forest. They're trying to remember their late friend that passed away in the beginning of the film, and they come across this cult of people and this horrible creature. That one's pretty scary. There's another thriller called Caliber. It's on Netflix. There's like these two guys that go out hunting in somewhere in Europe, and they have an accident and they're trying to cover it up. And there's a village of all these people who come there to go hunting, and they have a festival and whatnot. And there's a connection there, and very well done. And it's very sad and just crazy movie. I'd probably put it in B. Low budget Netflix movie. It was very well done.
Okay, can I go over a few that I recommend?
Yeah, go ahead.
So first one up, I would put in the original Candyman. That movie I think is one of the best like slasher films, and it's so unique. Like I put Candyman with Freddy Krueger and Chucky as one of the most unique villains in those type of horror movies.
When did it come out?
Like 1993
90s
or 91, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the you actually care for the main character who tries to stop Candyman. She's so unique. She's not like a dumb teen.
Yeah.
Trying to get away with something. Like she's an adult woman who's investigating these series of murders that's going on in this neighborhood that Candyman's terrorizing, and you really feel for her.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put Candyman up in A.
A tier? Okay.
For sure. And you know that's saying Candyman, you look in the mirror, you say times. Yeah. Another one, I think it's a great thriller. Ever heard of Run?
I have heard of Run. I've seen that.
It's on Hulu last I checked. It's about this girl who grows up with all these types of physical disabilities, and later you learn on that she may or may not, that may not actually be the case, that she's just been held against her will. And it's just a crazy movie.
It's a crazy movie. I really enjoyed Run, and just the twists in that movie, and just you find out the background and how things started. Oh my gosh, that movie's crazy.
You feel so bad for this poor girl.
Yeah, and the ending is well done. I liked everything about it. Run was really good.
Absolutely, yeah. Would you put that in A?
I would definitely put that in A. That was very well done. There's another one. I'm trying to think of what it's called. I bet you if I look it up on the internet real quick.
Can you kind of go for mine while you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So another one I recommend is Hellraiser, the original in particular. It came out in '87, written by Clive Barker, who's like. He's like Stephen King, like this horror writer, and you've got this great movie set around this puzzle box, and this box unleashes like this terror, who they call Pinhead, and this just nightmarish realm. It's so creative, and it's monsters and the world the box creates, and is again one of the many great movies from that era that uses great practical effects. Like you're just stunned by how amazing it looks,
and with no CG at all. Once again, seeing a trend there.
What's going on, Hollywood? Why aren't you making good makeup movies anymore?
More practical effects. That's what Stranger Things did.
Yeah,
and they did it very well.
And you can clearly see how successful Hellraiser got because they made 11 movies now.
11
Like the newest one just came out on Hulu. So yeah.
I remember what the movie I was talking about is called Alone. Essentially a girl moves across the country and she gets kidnapped by this creepy dude that keeps following her around town.
I love this movie.
Man, this was really good. I've actually watched it twice because I thought it was really good. I watched it once by myself and then I introduced my girlfriend to it and we both thought it was really good. And you know, it's a thriller. Like you're kind of on the edge of your seat the whole time. You don't know what's going to happen. And
you're rooting for this poor girl who's just trying to get to her next place in life. And man, there's a scene where she's just trying to escape the house and it's so good. So good. And the ending was very well done. It's kind of hard there are some bad endings to horror films, but they did a good job. Yeah. Let's see. Another great one I think is Oculus, essentially the Mirror movie.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
It's a great movie because again, there's this evil that comes from this mirror, and these two siblings are trying to prove that this mirror is evil. And again, you don't know if they're actually true, or they're just making it up in their mind. So yeah, it's a great movie that has you scared, that has you on the edge of your seat. I put that in A. Where would you put Alone in?
Oh yeah, we almost forgot to put that. I would put Alone in like pretty higher up in A. I thought it was very good.
I also put Hellraiser in A. I forgot to do that too.
So A for Hellraiser, A for Alone. Man,
and A for Oculus. Okay, real quick. Worst horror movie you've ever seen?
Worst one?
Because we barely have F and D listed.
I'll tell you right away. I think it's called Lights Out.
Oh,
that was horrible. Okay. It was so bad.
Tell me why you think it's horrible.
It was so cringy, so cliche. When you find the background about the monster, it's dumb, and just like just everything about it. I didn't like it.
Now, mind you, the whole premise of the movie is about this monster who only shows up if the lights are completely dark.
It's dark.
Does it break its own rules? Like that type of thing? It does.
Yeah. Oh wait, have you seen?
I have.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Break its own rule. I was trying to figure out what you meant by that. I was kind of
like okay. Actually, I take the back. I've only seen clips, but yeah, does like go into the light, or
I feel like there are certain moments when it's not totally pitch black and they still get attacked. But yeah, I thought it was so bad, just very cheesy, bad acting, everything, just not good. Have you seen Sinister?
I've seen Sinister. Yeah.
I saw that for the first time this summer. It was creepy for sure. Or no, am I thinking of the right one? A scene, like a famous scene in the movie where there's a demon has a jump scare behind like the person that's talking.
Insidious?
Insidious. That's the one. I couldn't think of that. I was surprised that wasn't on here. I thought Insidious was very spooky.
Oh, I know it's either. I actually thought that was cringe.
It was cringe? I mean, I thought the acting was kind of bad, but I thought it was scary. I heard the second one is even more so, though.
I actually like the second one more, just because it's scary. Like, to think of this guy who dresses up as this scary ghost lady. Like, you learn about this ghost lady's backstory, and you're just so like, oh my. This is terrifying.
Yeah. I think I'd probably put it in C tier. I mean, it was pretty scary, but it wasn't a great movie though.
Sure.
And then Sinister I haven't seen, but I think it is statistically the scariest movie ever made.
Really?
Based off of people's heart rates.
Seriously?
I think
that's
Sinister,
an actual test?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like based off of people's heart rate spikes. I think that's how they determine that.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's about it. I can't think of any other ones that we may have missed. I'm sure there's other ones, but they're probably not even worth mentioning.
Oh yeah. And knowing that we got class in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up today's tier list. Remember, these are just our own opinions, so don't get upset.
You put rain and sea.
You can't believe it. Well, thanks again, Luke, for being on the show. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me, dude.
It was good to have your expertise because clearly there's quite a few that I haven't seen, but that's okay.
I felt like I was taking over your own show for a second.
Well, honestly, like I'm glad that I had you because you gave me good perspective as to which ones are good and which ones are not so good. So now I can just use this as my cheat sheet and go, yeah, this one's worth watching. This one's worth my time.
All Final Destination movies are on HBO Max.
I'll hit you up if I have a question if one is worth watching. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And thanks again for tuning in to Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and we'll see you next week.